best coverage linebackers. 15 statistics from the 2023 season prove that the Buffalo Bills are going to squish the fish against the Miami Dolphins. Let's quickly go through all 15 infographics, and at the end of this video, I'm going to explain what this means for Bills Mafia. First, we can clearly see Miami Dolphins putting up 70 points against the Denver Broncos, but it came with a little bit of extra baggage. Mike McDaniels growing up in Denver, wanting to be Denver's head coach, but in 2022, they refused to even interview him. Vic Fangio, also the head coach of the Denver Broncos, leaving Denver after getting fired. Bradley Chubb was a Denver Bronco, and some other coaches came to Miami with Vic Fangio. Yes, Miami versus the Broncos was clearly a revenge game with some extra baggage. I don't want to take anything away from the Miami Dolphins, so we have a stat here showing how fast the Miami Dolphins are. You could see all the fastest ball carriers this season in the NFL. The top 6 are all Miami Dolphins. Now, how do you slow down the Miami Dolphins? How about an awesome pass rush for the Bills? And we can clearly see here the Bills are tied for second in the NFL with the most sacks with 12. And here we could see on a per play basis, the Buffalo Bills are leading the NFL in the total amount of sacks per play, ahead of Dallas and Pittsburgh. And the stats don't stop here. The Buffalo Bills are giving up the second fewest yards per game in the NFL. Bills are third in the NFL with total turnovers. We have 4 total turnovers so far this season. We could see here that Terrell Bernard and Matt Milano are statistically the best coverage linebackers in the NFL. Lowest passer rating allowed. The Bills defense has also allowed the second fewest amount of first downs. And this was last week's stats, and you could see Ed Oliver was currently second in the NFL with a 23.5 pressure rate. Well, that climbed, and he is number 1 in the NFL, currently at 27% pressure rate. Trey White is back to himself here in 2023. We can clearly see how well he is doing. A 17.4 passer rating allowed against opposing quarterback. Jalen Phillips is out for the Miami Dolphins, and we can clearly see he is leading their team in total amount of pressures, 7 total pressures with a 13.5 win rate. Buffalo Bills offensive line is doing some things for Josh Allen. Deion Dawkins rated the highest offensive player for the Buffalo Bills. And we can't discount the fact that O'Cyrus Torrence, Connor McGovern, Spencer Brown, and Mitch Morris are all balling out too. And Josh Allen statistically does well against the Miami Dolphins. We could see here Josh Allen versus Tua. Josh Allen is clearly ahead in the league. Overall touchdowns, fewer interceptions, more passing yards. He is 4-1 over Tua. Buffalo Bills offense, Stephon Diggs currently in 8th place in total receiving yards. What do all these stats mean? We understand that the Miami Dolphins are explosive. They're fast. They're scoring a lot of points, some of the most points in the NFL. They're leading a lot of the offensive categories in statistic department, but you have to take a look at what the Buffalo Bills defense is doing. The 2 best matchup coverage linebackers in the NFL for Bills Mafia with Terrell Bernard and Matt Milano. That is absolutely huge. Ed Oliver, the number 1 player in the NFL with the total amount of pressure rate, is absolutely huge. Leonard Floyd is 6th in the NFL right now in total amount of sacks. So you couple that with a great defensive line. Trey White balling out, only a 17-point passer rating allowed against opposing quarterbacks. You couple this all together, and the Buffalo Bills defense is clearly the best defense that Miami has gone against this year. Second fewest first downs, the second fewest yards per game, the 3rd most turnovers in the NFL. The Buffalo Bills defense has a true shot at exploiting the Miami Dolphins. And the lack of height from Tua is definitely going to hurt going against the Buffalo Bills, who have these Tarzan-like defensive ends. Leonard Floyd, Greg Rousseau, AJ Epinesa, all huge. Sean McDermott does such a great job of getting Greg Rousseau over the center and guard as well. So he stunts from that defensive end position over the center and guard, jumping up in the air, blocking any windows or any vision that Tua might have. Lack of height with Tua going against these tall, long defensive ends and defensive line for the Buffalo Bills. We know we have to take away that first option, and a lot of these Bills players are doing great at batting the ball, jumping up and batting the ball down. Yes, we saw AJ Epinesa in his pick 6 last week doing it against the Commanders, but we've seen Greg Rousseau do it multiple times and once against his Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. But the saying in the NFL is a great offense is the best defense. The Buffalo Bills offense with these stats prove that we are having some of the greatest stats in the NFL. James Cook also leading the NFL in rushing yards. He is third in the NFL, top 5 running back for the Bills going against the Miami Dolphins. And James Cook was a rookie last year going against the Miami Dolphins. Now in year 2, clearly a much improved player. James Cook is an absolute beast, explosive running back that can take it to the house on any given play. The Bills are really suited more to beat the Miami Dolphins in 2023 than any year past because we needed explosive players, and James Cook is exactly that coming out of the backfield. And don't forget about Damian Harris, Latavius Murray. I mean, Devin Singletary and Zach Moss both went off against the Miami Dolphins last year multiple times, and this is clearly a better running back crew for Bills Mafia in 2023. So when we're talking about having long, sustained drives, the Buffalo Bills really don't need to do anything differently than what they've been doing all throughout the season because every time they touch the ball, they want to score. And in order to do that, you have to march all the way down the field and score points. Every team that we've played so far this season has played a soft zone coverage with 2 high safety shells, forcing underneath throws, forcing the Buffalo Bills to get into 12, 13 personnel and start running the ball. And these stats prove that we have been successful, not only putting up touchdowns and yards, but the completion percentage for Josh Allen right now is second in the NFL. I think you have to couple all these things together. Regardless of how explosive the Miami Dolphins offense is, their stats are slightly a little bit skewed, especially because of that Denver Broncos game, a revenge game for Fangio, McDaniels, for Bradley Chubb. Their defense had 3 turnovers that game against the Broncos. I really think the Buffalo Bills through 3 games have really proved that we're a great offensive team. We're a great defensive team. Ed Oliver, Leonard Floyd, and this defensive line is going to rip and get to Tua. AJ Epinesa, 6'6", getting his hands up last week, getting a pick 6, one of only 6 or 7 teams so far to score a defensive touchdown. Terrell Bernard clearly faster than Tremaine Edmonds, Matt Milano, and TB, both the best coverage linebackers in the NFL in 2023. The Buffalo Bills defense is the best that it's ever been. The Buffalo Bills offense is the best that it's ever been. And I truly believe all these stats prove that Bills Mafia is going to be squishing the fish come Sunday. Well, guys, if you enjoyed this video, if you appreciate my efforts pulling up all these infographics, going through the stats as to how the Buffalo Bills are going to squish this fish, make sure you hit like, subscribe for future content. I will be live during the game, going live during the week, dropping videos daily here, trying to present you guys a wealth of information, some intriguing insight to get you even more hyped up about the best game of the season so far. But I appreciate you guys, and go Bills.